I am not going to lie. I am very shocked by how things played out today. I'm sure you guys are as well. We've been talking about this day for a very long period of time, and it ended up being quite a bit more aggressive than I think most of us expected. And right now, SHIB and the markets are loving it. I'm Luckside. Welcome to the channel. If you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell. Again, it's free to do, and it will keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. The reason why today was so important is we had an FOMC meeting. The Fed, for a long time now, we've been waiting for them to drop interest rates. And the consensus was that it was going to happen this month regardless, right? And it was all a question of what they were going to do. And we basically kind of settled into this notion that they were going to drop interest rates by a quarter basis point, just kind of get the ball rolling, a show of good faith that we're getting things going down the right direction. And what I will say is this came as a huge surprise when today the Fed actually cut interest rates by 50 basis points. What is wild about this is this typically only happens in times where there is cause for concern, when there is uncertainty going on. For example, last couple ones that we've experienced, March of 2020, when we obviously were dealing with COVID, when there was some uncertainty about what the economy was going to do, basically a little mini recession that we dove into. Back in 2008, when we were obviously in a full-blown recession, a lot of economic hardship during that time. That's the last few times that they have gone this aggressive with an interest rate decrease. So we have to discuss, is there cause for concern following this? Now, what I will say is that SHIB and the market love this news, love this data. SHIB actually surged leading up to the FOMC meeting from all the way down this 4.013 flat range to actually up to 4.036. So you're talking, what's that, a 7% move or so? That's a very, actually, I should just measure it. That's a very 5%. Sorry. That's a very strong move for SHIB and the overall crypto market. BTC went on a very similar move here as well. It actually broke above the 20-week moving average, which coincidentally sits right around our 100-day. And that's the market loved this news, right? And obviously you guys can see that there were some great buy zone opportunities that flashed on Shiba Inu here. This is using my indicator. If you guys are interested in using my indicator, there's actually a link in the description below. There's a 7-day free trial. Feel free to check that out. It costs like less than $1 a day. So it's well worth utilizing it for instances just like this, when there is great opportunities to accumulate. Now, what I will say is this, guys. Jerome Powell said some things that I don't know if I 100% agree with. So what he says is, I don't see anything in the economy right now that suggests that the likelihood of a recession or downturn is elevated. I don't see that. You see growth at a solid rate. You see inflation coming down. You see the labor markets is still at very solid levels. So he doesn't see any of these kind of problems at our doorstep. Now, I know that data can be manipulated. I know revisions, for example, we've gotten from prior job reports have come back kind of weaker than what they were first reported. So there is this obviously cause for concern about how valid this data is. That's really the big question here. Now, what I will say is that this is still going to be a month to month process. We're still going to have to, gauge these reports. Do we see an uptick in spending? Are people getting looser with their money, or because we had such an aggressive rate cut, are they playing things still very close to the vest? Now, what I will say is there are some very good goals here. So first of all, this rate decrease of 50 basis points was almost unanimous. I think there was one vote that was against this. So you're seeing a very consistent theme between the Fed and the central bank. All right. And they're not in a hurry to ease this policy. So it's going to take some time for them to get into this. So what they said, at least as far as the goals, is that the Fed's funding rate is supposed to get to somewhere between 4.25 to 4.5 by the end of the year. We're currently at 4.75 to 5.0 right now. So you're talking another 50 basis point decrease by the end of the year. And then these meetings are both scheduled for November 6th through the 7th and December 17th through the 18th. And the 2025 forecast is getting us back down to 3.4%. And through 2026, we're supposed to get all the way back down to 2.9%. So we're getting back on the right track here. And what he says is that, these times of cheap money like we experienced, I'm not sure if you guys remember when rates were like 1.5% and 1.9%, pretty cheap. We're not going back to those times. We're returning more to the mean, but it's going to be a process. We're not going to just drop this because there's still a lot of capital out there, right? Some people will say that there's not much money flowing around. There's still a lot of capital. And what you're kind of seeing is, at least starting to see, is some of that capital free up just a little bit. as the rates drop, it stimulates spending, it stimulates printing too, which we'll have to keep an eye on as well in terms of overall monetary supply. But it is to get things going again. All right, get the economy buzzing, get people spending, and that's where you have kind of a double-edged sword. Okay, while this is good for the markets right now, typically it takes a little bit for us to bottom following interest rate decreases. That's what you guys need to know. Now, what I will say is there still a possibility of recession? Yes, I 100% believe there is. Now, what this may do though is if it is coming, it may kick the can down the road for a while. In fact, it may not happen until like 2026. That's just my thoughts on this. We'll have to be patient and wait and see how things play out. Obviously, there are things that can take place during the fall that sends us one way or the other, but just be patient, let the market digest the data, and just know that this is a step towards returning to the norm. So I appreciate you guys as always. If you guys have not already, again, make sure you guys check out that Margex link in the description below. Again, you can earn up to $10,000 in deposit and trading bonuses. There's no KYC. And guys, this Caspa airdrop, the $500,000 one, there's only 4 days left on this. So if it's something you're interested in getting into, definitely check it out. But have a great day. Show your love below. Let me know what you think this means for SHIB price in the near term, but I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care.